After years of speculation, Richard Rawlings has finally confirmed the truth behind the rumors that have been circulating. From breaking records on the road to building his gas monkey garage empire, Richard has always lived life in the fast lane. But this time, he's revealing what's really been happening behind the scenes, from his failed marriage to the sale of his car collection, and even why his hit show was canceled. Stay tuned as we uncover the real story, straight from Richard himself. The road to Gas Monkey. Before the fame, before Fast and Loud, Richard Rawlings was just a kid from Fort Worth, Texas, with grease on his hands and a head full of car dreams. His story isn't just about engines, it's about passion, survival, and turning childhood fascination into a worldwide empire. Richard was born in 1969, right in the heart of Texas, where muscle cars and rock and roll were a way of life. His father didn't have much money, but he had something more valuable, a deep love for cars. From a young age, Richard followed him to car shows, soaking in the smell of gasoline and motor oil as if it were perfume. Those moments with his dad sparked something powerful in him. One photo sums it up perfectly. Little Richard sitting in a toy Volkswagen Beetle, gripping the wheel like a pro. Other kids dreamed of superheroes. Richard dreamed of engines. By 14, he was already living that dream. He bought his first car, a green 1974 Mercury Comet, with his own savings. He learned how engines worked, how to revive old cars, and how to make a profit from them. Through his high school years at Eastern Hills, cars were his classroom. While classmates studied textbooks, Richard was studying engines. By graduation, he'd bought and sold around 20 cars. Everyone knew him as the kid who could turn a rust bucket into a beauty. But his path wasn't a straight road. After high school, he tried something unexpected. He became a firefighter, a police officer, and a paramedic. The work was tough and dangerous, but it built his confidence and taught him how to stay calm in chaos. Then came 1992, the night everything almost ended. At just 22, Richard was shot during a carjacking at a Whataburger drive-thru in Fort Worth. The bullet tore through his shoulder, but he survived. That moment changed everything. He realized life was too short not to chase his passion. He later started a printing company, Lincoln Press, learning how to run a business and build a brand. When he sold it for a profit, he finally had the money to follow his true dream, to build a garage that didn't just fix cars, but celebrated them. That dream became Gas Monkey Garage, a place born from grit, passion, and the fearless drive of a Texas kid who refused to give up. Looking back, it's clear that everything in Richard's early life helped shape the man he would become. His father taught him passion. His early jobs taught him discipline. His near-death experience made him fearless, and his first business taught him how to think smart. From the start, Richard was ready to take on any challenge that came his way. But the big question is, how did he turn all that into worldwide fame? The becoming. After years of hustling, struggling, and learning from every mistake, Richard Rawlings was finally ready to turn his lifelong passion for cars into something bigger. In 2002, with just grit, determination, and money from selling his printing and advertising business, Lincoln Press, he opened the doors of Gas Monkey Garage in Dallas, Texas. But the early days were anything but glamorous. The shop was tiny. There was no air conditioning, no running water, and barely enough space to work. Most people would have given up, but Richard Rawlings wasn't most people. He was running on pure drive, determined to build something that would one day shake up the car world. He poured every dollar, every ounce of energy, and every dream he had into keeping the lights on. With little more than passion and a few loyal mechanics, Richard hit the road to promote the Gas Monkey name. He drove across the country, attending car shows, trade events, and rallies, talking to anyone who would listen. He didn't have billboards or fancy ads. He had his personality, his charm, and a deep love for cars that people couldn't help but connect with. By 2004, after selling another business venture called Promo Wipes, Rawlings finally had the money to fuel his dream properly, about $25 million of capital. This gave him the chance to grow Gas Monkey Garage into more than just a car shop. His vision wasn't just to fix and sell cars. He wanted to build a brand, one that celebrated the fun, freedom, and family that car culture represented. Then the defining year came for Richard Rawlings. Alongside his friend, Dennis Collins, he set out to break one of the most legendary speed records of all time, the Cannonball Run, a coast-to-coast race from New York City to Los Angeles. The record, originally set in 1974, stood at 32 hours and 51 minutes. Most thought it couldn't be beaten, but Rawlings and Collins weren't most people. Driving a heavily modified Ferrari 550 Maranello fitted with extra fuel tanks so they could go longer without stopping, they tore across the country. On May 12, 2007, they left Manhattan under the cover of night, and 31 hours and 59 minutes later, they pulled into the Portofino Inn in Redondo Beach, California. They had done it. The impossible record had been broken. There was controversy, of course. Some questioned the exact route or compared it to earlier runs, but none of that mattered. The daring stunt made headlines and, more importantly, earned Richard a nod from one of the biggest car icons in the world, Jay Leno. For a man like Rawlings, that moment was huge. Jay Leno's recognition wasn't just a compliment, it was a stamp of approval from the ultimate car guy. Still, even with his growing reputation, Gas Monkey Garage was far from stable. Between 2002 and 2012, Richard faced constant struggles, financial pressure, unreliable staff, and the challenge of finding rare parts. Some days he barely had enough to keep the doors open. But through all the ups and downs, he never stopped believing. While juggling the shop, he kept pitching an idea to TV networks, a reality show about restoring classic cars, one that wasn't just for hardcore gearheads, but for families and everyday people who loved a good story. Most networks turned him down. They said it was too risky, too niche, too small. But Richard didn't quit. He knew the idea had potential. Then in 2012, the Discovery Channel finally said yes. When Fast and Loud premiered on June 6th, no one could have predicted what was about to happen. The show followed Richard and his crew at Gas Monkey Garage as they hunted down forgotten classic cars, brought them back to life, and flipped them for profit. At the heart of the show was the perfect duo, Rawlings, the fast-talking dealmaker, and Aaron Kaufman, the quiet, brilliant mechanic who could turn rust into gold. The show exploded in popularity. Within months, Fast and Loud was airing in over 200 countries and translated into 13 languages. It became one of the Discovery Channel's biggest hits, inspiring spin-offs like Misfit Garage and Demolition Theater. Fans loved it because it wasn't just about fixing cars, it was about the personalities, the humor, and the drama behind every build. But behind the scenes, it wasn't always smooth. Like many reality shows, some moments were scripted and deadlines were brutal. The team worked under enormous pressure to finish projects on time, often with tight budgets and impossible demands. Over time, tensions grew. In 2017, Aaron Kaufman shocked fans by leaving the show. He said he wanted to take on more complex builds, projects that didn't fit the show's fast-paced, budget-driven format. There were also creative and personal differences. Still, both he and Richard insisted they remained friends. Aaron later launched his own shop, Arclight Fabrication, and starred in his own show, Shifting Gears. Other members of the Gas Monkey crew left too. Tom Smith and Jordan Butler exited after a dispute with Rawlings, claiming it stemmed from an incident involving a young fan with cystic fibrosis. The drama only fueled public interest, keeping Gas Monkey Garage constantly in the headlines. Despite the ups and downs, the formula that made Fast and Loud successful was simple: buy smart, sell smarter. Richard's business instincts were razor sharp. He often carried stacks of cash to negotiations, ready to close a deal on the spot. You can always buy a $10,000 car for $5,000 if you've got it in your pocket, he once said. And he proved it time and time again. In one memorable episode, the crew bought a Dodge Challenger for about $40,000. After spending $77,000 on restoration, they sold it for $150,000, earning a $73,000 profit. By the time Fast and Loud ended in 2020, after 16 seasons and 155 episodes, Richard Rawlings had built more than a TV show. He had built a brand. Gas Monkey had become a worldwide name. When he announced the show's end on the Joe Rogan Experience, Rawlings said the format buy a car, fix a car, sell a car had simply run its course. But the legacy of Fast and Loud was undeniable. It took a man who started with nothing but a dream and turned him into one of the biggest automotive figures on television. From a garage with no running water to a global brand with millions of fans, Richard Rawlings' rise is proof that passion, persistence, and a little bit of Texas grit can turn any dream into a roaring success. But why did the show end? Why Fast and Loud ended? After nearly 10 years of roaring engines and wild builds, Fast and Loud came to an end in 2020. But the show didn't end because people stopped watching. It ended because Richard Rawlings, the face of Gas Monkey Garage, decided it was time to move on. For many fans, this came as a shock. The show had made Gas Monkey a global name and turned Rawlings into one of the biggest personalities in car television. But behind the fame, Richard was feeling trapped and ready for change. What once felt exciting was starting to feel repetitive. He wanted to explore new ideas, tell deeper stories, and have more creative control. But there was one big problem: his contract with the Discovery Channel. When Fast and Loud began, Discovery owned nearly everything connected to the brand. Richard later explained on the Joe Rogan Experience that his deal was so strict he had to get the network's approval before posting anything online, even photos of his own cars. He couldn't start other shows, podcasts, or business deals without permission. For someone as independent and energetic as Richard, this was frustrating. He wanted to connect with fans directly and start projects like a podcast, but his contract didn't allow it. He realized that if he wanted freedom, he would have to walk away from the show that made him famous. As the world slowed down, he decided to take back control of his career. On Joe Rogan's podcast, he announced that he had officially left the Discovery Channel and was now a free agent. That decision marked the end of Fast and Loud and the start of a new chapter. It wasn't about anger or money, it was about independence. Richard wanted to run Gas Monkey Garage his own way and reach fans through platforms like YouTube, podcasts, and live events, without anyone telling him what he could or couldn't do. But what was his life like since the show ended? Life after Fast and Loud. After Fast and Loud ended, Richard Rawlings didn't stop for a moment. He just found new ways to keep his engine running. As of 2025, he's still the proud owner of Gas Monkey Garage, where he continues to buy, restore, and sell some of the most impressive cars around. But his success now reaches far beyond television. In 2021, Richard returned to screens with a new show called Wheels and Deals, featuring him and the Gas Monkey crew as they searched for rare cars to rebuild. Viewers loved the mix of old-school vehicles and fast-paced business deals. By 2025, he used the show to launch Gas Monkey Buys, a service that lets people submit details of their cars online for a chance to get an instant quote or sale offer. It was a clever digital twist on his hands-on style of buying cars. Richard also continued to grow the Gas Monkey brand into something much larger than just a garage. He entered the world of hospitality, opening new venues that blended car culture with entertainment. He also launched Gas Monkey Bar in Sturgis, South Dakota. Perfect for the famous motorcycle rally crowd, he opened the Gas Monkey Ice House in the Colony, Texas. This spot combines a restaurant, music venue, and car show all in one, becoming a hub for car lovers, families, and fans of his brand. Even with these new ventures, Rawlings hasn't drifted from what started it all, cars and creativity. Gas Monkey Garage continues to build bold, custom rides, while his YouTube channel and podcast, Monkey Trap with Richard Rawlings, keep fans updated on his projects, thoughts on business, and love for everything fast. Through these platforms, he's stayed connected with millions of followers worldwide. His newest business idea, Gas Monkey Buys, also made it easier for everyday car owners to sell directly to him. This modern move keeps his garage filled with exciting finds while helping car enthusiasts get fair deals for their rides. Alongside that, his merchandise line, from t-shirts to hats and car gear, remains a global symbol of freedom, speed, and boldness. Richard's love for racing hasn't faded either. He now sponsors FHO Racing at the Isle of Man TT, one of the world's toughest motorcycle races. It's another reminder that Gas Monkey isn't just about cars, it's about all things that move fast and loud. Recently, he even sold part of his personal car collection, not to slow down, but to make room for rarer, higher value models. For him, quality always beats quantity. Before Fast and Loud, Rawlings had already built his reputation through restaurants, bars, and concert venues, including the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in Dallas and Gas Monkey Live. Though some of these ventures closed, they paved the way for his bigger projects and taught him valuable lessons about business. Today, Richard Rawlings is far more than just a television personality. He's a self-made businessman, storyteller, and a true legend in car culture. Even now, he keeps pushing forward, always looking for the next big project, and proving that when passion drives you, the journey never really stops. But behind his success, things haven't always been smooth. While building his empire, Richard faced several challenges, and one of the biggest bumps in the road came when he found himself caught up in a legal battle. So, what kind of legal trouble did he actually face? The shocking feud that rocked his empire. On June 2018, fans were shocked when Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, one of Dallas's most popular hangouts, filed a $6 million lawsuit against Richard Rawlings, the man who created it. For years, Gas Monkey had been a symbol of success and fun, but behind the scenes, things had fallen apart. The owners accused Rawlings of defamation and business interference, claiming he was trying to damage the business and break away from his partners. The 47-page lawsuit revealed that the problems went much deeper than anyone knew. The tension actually began back in 2013, even before the bar officially opened. Emails from that time showed that a former worker accused Rawlings of acting like a spoiled 13-year-old and causing trouble during construction. Things got so heated that he was reportedly banned from the site. Still, the bar opened later that year, becoming a local hit. But behind the scenes, the relationship between Rawlings and his partners continued to worsen. The lawsuit said that Richard would often show up unannounced, argue with staff, and interfere with operations. Employees were uncomfortable around him, and the once thriving business began to lose its spark. In 2015, things reached their breaking point. Rawlings sent an angry email accusing his partners, including Daniel Flaherty, of hiding or stealing money. Flaherty quickly responded, assuring him that all financial records were open for review. But Richard replied that he didn't believe those documents even existed, suggesting fraud. The accusation caused serious harm to their working relationship and scared away investors and sponsors. Though Rawlings later apologized, saying he had written the email while drinking, the damage was done. The lawsuit claimed that his words hurt the brand and scared away future business opportunities. By 2017, things had gotten worse. When a buyer showed interest in purchasing the Gas Monkey Bar brand, Rawlings allegedly interfered again, making new accusations that ruined the deal. That was the final straw for the owners, who then took him to court the next year, demanding $6 million in damages. The news shocked fans who couldn't believe Richard was being sued by his own brand. The man who built Gas Monkey was now at war with it. The following year, Rawlings fired back with $1 million countersuit, claiming that Gas Monkey Bar and Grill had been illegally using his name and logo even after their agreement expired. His legal team argued that the bar kept using the Gas Monkey brand to promote events, including what he called lewd and sexually suggestive shows, which he said hurt his image. Before filing, Rawlings had already sent a cease and desist letter ordering them to stop using his brand. When they refused, he took the matter to court. His claim focused on lost revenue and brand damage. The public feud dragged on for over a year, with both sides refusing to back down. Fans took sides. Some supported Richard, while others blamed him for ruining a good thing. Around the same time, Gas Monkey Live, a related music venue, closed down, fueling rumors of financial trouble. Finally, the lawsuits were settled. Both sides agreed to dismiss their cases, and the bar rebranded completely, reopening under a new name, Amplified. All Gas Monkey logos and imagery were removed, officially ending the partnership. After the legal storm, Rawlings focused on rebuilding his image and business. He launched his podcast, Monkey Trap, giving him a platform to share his life stories and talk freely about cars, success, and entrepreneurship. Then in 2023, he made headlines again by selling nearly 30 cars from his personal collection, earning about $1.8 million. Some standout sales included a 1962 Chevy Corvette and a 1997 Toyota Supra. He explained that he was moving away from beer-budget cars to focus on rare, high-end European classics. He even sold a Gas Monkey garage experience for charity, raising $1,600 for the Gas Monkey Foundation. Soon after, he began investing heavily in Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and other luxury vehicles. During a trip to Ireland, he bought 5 Ferrari Testarossas, one of which was converted to electric power and shown at SEMA. Through lawsuits, business challenges, and major life changes, Richard Rawlings has shown he's built to last. Every setback became a new start, and he kept growing his empire his own way. The Gas Monkey Bar might be history, but Richard himself is still pushing forward, wiser, tougher, and ready for the next big ride. But while his career kept moving at full speed, what was really happening in his personal life? The man behind the fame, Richard Rawlings, may be best known for his roaring engines, quick deals, and larger-than-life personality, but behind all that speed and success lies a personal life filled with twists, heartbreak, and a constant search for balance. For a man who built his empire on motion, slowing down for love never came easy. In the late 1990s, Richard met Suzanne Marie Mergale, the woman who would become both his second and third wife. When they first married in 1990, Richard was just starting to find success with his printing business and building the foundation for what would become Gas Monkey Garage. Suzanne stood by him through those early struggles, the long nights, financial stress, and uncertainty of chasing a dream. But as Richard's fame grew, so did the distance between them. After 10 years of marriage, they divorced. Yet their story wasn't over. In 2015, while on a trip to Cabo San Lucas, the spark reignited. The couple remarried, hoping for a fresh start. For a while, life seemed perfect. Fast and Loud was a global hit, and Gas Monkey was a worldwide brand. But fame has its price. In 2019, Richard announced their second separation, calling it a mutual decision after years of trying to make it work. That same year, Richard found love again, this time with Katerina Deason, the ex-wife of Texas billionaire Darwin Deason. Their romance was fast and passionate. By August 2090, he proposed in Mexico, and on June 2020, they married in a quiet Key West ceremony. Through every twist and heartbreak, one thing remains true: Richard Rawlings lives and loves at full speed. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.